This was the first exhibition that I've agreed to do when none of the work existed. I mean, I've done quite a lot of exhibitions at one time or another, but this is the only one like this because the others were collections of my work. I chose this title, The Only Way to Travel, for two reasons actually. The main one was it allowed me to do almost anything that moved, any kind of vehicle. I could do it and I could make them up as I went along. But I also chose it because I thought it might be useful because everybody's travelled in some way or other. And so I thought that that made a link to people. This is the first time that I've done an exhibition like this, to order, so to speak. I mean, the order was quite simply do big drawings. I've never worked at this size before, ever. It makes you think again. What you thought was quite a big pencil is actually nothing on this, and so you get into a whole different set of brushes, and then you have to learn how that works on a bigger scale. There are probably at least 100 drawings in the show, and they've all been done within the past 6 months or something like that, I think. There are a lot that are about 4 feet by 5, because I can do those easily in my studio in London, and I can do them in my studio in Hastings. Sometimes in the past I've said what is good about working with authors is that they take you to places that you wouldn't have gone otherwise. What is very nice about this show for me is that it's taken just being invited not to do a particular subject but just to do big drawings has taken me to some places which I didn't know I would get to otherwise. Although they're similar subjects, they're pictures of different sorts. And so some are comedy, really, and a fantasy comedy sort of thing. But some of them move into more serious subjects, which I just found myself going into, really. I mean, somebody was looking at them recently and said, oh, well, they're partly about isolation, aren't they? Or some of them are just about, that life can be difficult. So I've actually got 1 or 2 pictures which are contemporary, which refer to immigrants, because I thought for them the only way to travel was not the way you would have chosen. So I found myself getting into themes. I didn't set out to do them. They're things I discovered as I was going along. I've had a house in Hastings. It's probably 40 years or something like that now. So I've known Hastings for a long time. But what I could never have imagined was that someone would build an art gallery at the end of my road, which is within walking distance. That's wonderful. And it's such a nice art gallery as well. I mean, it's absolutely what one would wish. I don't know whether people will be surprised by some of the subjects. I think they may be, I think it depends how well they know the work I've done, probably, anyway. I hope they will be entertained. And also what I hope, of course, is that young people looking at it will say, oh, you can do that, can you? If you like, I'm a professional artist, but I've been doing it for 50 years, 60 years. And you can still do experimental things, you can invent things, you can imagine things. And I would like them to feel that as well.